One Piece 1140 for spoilers. New ancient robot appears. In the spoiler for One Piece manga chapter 1144, it gives a signal that the big battle against the Holy Knights has officially begun. The Holy Knights are known to have appeared in Elbaph to search for Loki's whereabouts. At first, only two people appeared before several other members appeared. On the other hand, the children themselves had to suffer a terrible fate because they were controlled by one of the Holy Knight's devil fruit. This chapter begins with the efforts of the giants who seem overwhelmed to face the various monsters that come from fear. Colin himself then managed to secretly escape from the control and then left with a small boat. He also brought Jinbe, Brook, Usopp, and Nami to join the battle against the terrible shadow monsters. On the other hand, Colin's mother, Ripley, also takes Frankie to a hidden place where there is a giant robot that has been there since 3,000 years ago. We then find out that Gunko is a big fan of Brook's music. Dory and Brody, who are still drunk, then release a very powerful Hakoku Sovereign attack. The powerful attack immediately destroyed many shadow monsters. At the end of the chapter itself, we then saw how Copper Gavin appeared and joined the Straw Hats in the battle. There is no weekly break for the chapter next week. This means that One Piece manga chapter 1145 will likely be released on schedule, and the spoilers themselves will appear based on the information from the One Piece manga chapter 1140 for spoiler above. This means that the ancient robots have appeared in the story. The first ancient robot appeared on Egghead Island, where the robot was just lying around where Vegapunk usually made his creations, which were considered failed. However, after more details about the robot were revealed, it was discovered that it was not just any robot. The ancient robot on Egghead Island is known as Elbaph and is a robot trusted by Joy Boy before his death to store his strongest haki. Elbaph became a robot that later managed to save the Straw Hat crew from the Go Rose Eye attack thanks to Joy Boy's very powerful haki. Then, it is also known that Elbaph had attacked Mary Geo Eyes hundreds of years ago but failed to complete his mission. The appearance of the second ancient robot in Elbaph in this chapter is certainly very surprising because it turns out that the existence of robots in the One Piece world likely has an important role. Moreover, based on the spoiler above, it is known that the age of this ancient robot is likely very old, considering that its existence in Elbaph has been going on for 3,000 years. This also raises various questions again. How many ancient robots are there in the One Piece world as a whole? What is the mission of the robot? Who created the robot? For now, we still do not know for sure about various important information. However, regarding who created the robot, the biggest speculation that makes the most sense is none other than the Ancient Kingdom. Again, the Vegapunk's statement in the Egghead arc yesterday could be a clue regarding this, where the kingdom has advanced technology. In fact, he even imitated all the technology presented or built by the Ancient Kingdom. Many fans speculate that Elbaph is a creation of the Ancient Kingdom, which certainly makes sense if the speculation of this 3,000-year-old ancient robot is also their creation. The emergence of robots in the One Piece world itself certainly raises another big question. Namely, what is the purpose of building these robots? The two most rational reasons why these robots were built are: the first as a defense force from the party that made them. The second reason is that these robots are presented as weapons to destroy enemies. Both of these reasons are likely to be reasonable and actually happen. What does it mean? The clue itself appears in Harley's ancient text that Nico Robin successfully translated well.
Harley's text explains that the One Piece world has experienced destruction twice. The first destruction occurred in the Nika era, and the second destruction occurred in the Joy Boy era. What actually happened is still unknown for sure, but if we refer to other clues, that in every destruction always refer to the figure of Nika, could be that there is actually a big battle that appears in every destruction of the One Piece world. This is even supported by information from Vegapunk in his live broadcast, when he explained about the world that will sink. According to Vegapunk, the world of One Piece today is the result of what happened thousands of years ago. According to him, 1,000 years ago there was a very terrible war that shook the whole world. In fact, the effects of the Great Battle were very large, starting from the destruction of a large kingdom, with an advanced civilization, to the destruction of many land surfaces so that only a little was left. Based on this explanation, It makes sense that these robots were indeed used to fight to destroy the enemy. These robots became troops that could then increase the destructive power of the party that sent them. What then happened to these ancient robots is still unknown. In addition, whether these ancient robots then have the same resources as a myth remains to be seen. Thanks for watching.